Explain what this assignment actually is, I was going to start off with saying, well, thank you for clicking on this. So then you actually know what you're doing, too, because, just reading over these directions, I know most of you will probably be like, this is a lot of words, and then you'll exit out and go do something else. So listen to me explain these directions. I'm going to do my best to go through everything. This is something that you could go back and watch again if you are someone that's a little bit unsure of what to do, or if you're unsure of what to do, a great thing to always do is just send me an email. During normal work hours, I normally respond pretty quickly. So make sure that you're reaching out if you have questions. So, my utopian society, you have stumbled across a new land and convinced others to follow in your footsteps. While it is still a small community, you are slowly growing. The need for government is clear. Create your new society practically from scratch. Where are you located? How will you continue to exist? So basically, you're just creating your own perfect world, your utopian society, because a utopian society is a perfect world. So what might be utopian and perfect to you might be totally different for someone else. So you are going to create a poster advertising your new utopian society. This can be created opening a new Google Doc, Google Slides, Google Jamboard, etc., and sharing it with me when you are finished. To be honest, the Google Jamboard is not something that I'm going to review. If you are somebody that is tech savvy, you want to do it on your own, fantastic. If not, you guys have been using Google Docs with the reading logs. You use Google Docs with the poetry journal. Notice how I had you guys do both of those already. That was for practice. That is for, so then when we do assignments like this, you actually know what you're doing because you've done them before. So I would just stick to Google Doc or Google Slides. If you want to use Google Jamboard, that's fine. If you're like, no, thank you, I'll stick with what I know because that's probably what I would do. One of those works. So, what are you actually going to do to show me your utopian society? So, you must have a name for your society. So, it can't just be like my place, my utopian society. Come up with something a little bit more creative. A flag. If you can't draw or create one, at least describe what is on your flag and why. This is where, honestly, if I were you, I would probably just make a flag. You could just pull a shape from the, say, if you're doing it on Google Docs, for example, so you can draw a rectangle, fill it in with colors, whatever you want to do. A slogan or motto. All right. So that means like, when people think of your place, what do they think of? I know the city I grew up in, their slogan is more than you can imagine. So I'm not quite sure. I'm thinking of other slogans for cities, but more than you can imagine could be an example of that. Come up with something else though with that one. A picture or clip art of what you imagine your utopia to look like. So if you notice, there's a lovely picture of a beach up here. I wish I was there. It'd be much better than my apartment, to be honest. But I'm not there. So when you guys are picking pictures for your utopia, you want to pick a place that you would really want to go that looks perfect to you. Next thing is 5 things that are present or not present in your utopia that will appeal to others. In other words, that means 5 things you have or 5 things you don't have. If you want to do 3 things you have, 2 things you don't have, that will help others be convinced to come to your utopia, that's fine. You just need to have 5. These 5 things should address 5 of the following choices and choose 5 and explain how it works in your society. For example, don't just say there's no homelessness. You must explain how this works, such as the following. There is no homelessness because everyone in the community works together and makes houses for everyone. They are required to participate in new house building. So choose 5 to explain. So there's a whole list here for you to look at. So, for example, if you want to count how many times I said so in this video too, it's really weird teaching to my computer instead of you guys, but it is what it is. So, anyways, what kind of government do you have and who is in charge? You could say something like, we have a democracy because everyone should be able to have a say in how our society works. And the person in charge is someone that is, I don't know, you can come up with something like the person in charge is I don't know how good this would go, but again, this is your utopia. The person in charge is me, and I know I'm a very fair person, and I will make decisions that are um, in the best interest of everyone because I'm going to be able to work with others. Okay. So, where is your utopia located? You could say something like, my utopia is located on a tropical island, which is great for people because, everyone gets to be out in the sun and the weather's always really nice. So everyone's in a good mood. So, is there money? How do you buy things? This one, I don't think a society would quite work without money, but if you want to come up with some type of bartering system, go for it. But the main point with all these questions is just you have to just choose 5 of them, and then you're just going to explain why does that make your society super great, or why, like compared to something else, or why it doesn't have something that maybe might be stressful for people. So you could say, like, employment or unemployment. Is there unemployment? You could say, no, there's not unemployment in our society because everyone is given a responsibility when they turn 18 to contribute to the needs of our civilization. Okay, so a lot of directions here. Again, go back and look at this video, look at the doc. If you have any questions about it, make sure that you are emailing me, and then the grading rubric down here. As long as you're following the directions, you're going to get the points. Just take your time on it and try to make something that looks, pretty decent. I don't want to see like a bunch of pictures that are like very, very small, and like a bunch of writing that's very, very small. So make sure that you're actually putting some time into this. I know this is one of the assignments that isn't supposed to be a ton of pressure for you guys, but I want you to have a little bit more fun with it. So anyways, if you have any questions about it, just make sure you're emailing me, and thank you for listening for the entire video. If you skipped around with it because I was talking for too long, go back, watch it again so you got everything. All right, see ya.